All right, so we had the question from one of our clients of how to properly do a bench press. The main question actually came from how do you not hit the hooks on your way back up? So we'll talk about that a little bit, but we're just going to do an overview of some tips to keep in mind when you do a bench press. So the first thing that we want to make sure of is we've got our body flat, we've got feet flat on floor. We also want to make sure that our knees are pulled apart just a little bit, just to engage glutes and just help to anchor your body into the bench a little bit better. So we've got that perfectly here. Second thing we're going to do is we're making sure that we're positioned on the bench so that we're not too far up, so that when you unrack that bar, you're already going to be coming forwards a little bit so that you're away from those pins. Ideally, you want your arms to be just above kind of chest height. So we don't want to be over top of neck and shoulders. We don't want to be down over top of belly button or stomach. For right now, we just kind of want that chest, that lower mid-range rib area for where that bar is going to start, right? So let's just start off with that. So unrack that bar. Bring yourself forward just that little bit. Perfect. Now, at this point, if we were to lower that bar down, we're going to be hitting that mid-chest point and then pressing back up. Awesome. So rack that back up again. Now we've got these safety bars. We want to make sure that these bars are positioned just below the lowest point of that bar. If at any point you get to a situation where you can't press that bar back up, we want to make sure that we have these in place just in case, so that you can bring that bar down, rest it on it, and slide yourself out from underneath. So make sure that these are just below the height of where that bar is going to come into its bottom point. Now the last part to this, and this is hopefully going to answer that question of how do we not hit those pins. The trick that I've always used, when you unrack that bar, you want to look through the bar and find a point on the ceiling that is in your line of sight. And you're going to stare at that point the entire time as you press back up, because that point is going to be in front of you just slightly, which is going to keep you from pushing that bar backwards and catching yourself on those pins. All right, so let's unrack that bar again. Perfect. You're going to stare through. Yep. Beautiful. Pick that point on the ceiling, stare to it. And now as you stare at that point, you're pushing that bar to that point on the ceiling. And at this point, you're not going to end up coming back and catching yourself on those pins and getting that jolt and the insecurity of that. Feeling good? Perfect. So those are just some quick tips on how to go through your bench press, how to make sure you're not going to hit the pins, and to execute it effectively.